Commander Zara Vex stared at the holographic display floating before her, its crimson warnings pulsing like a dying star's heartbeat. The Terran defense grid showed 17 massive vessels dropping out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol System vessels, bearing the dreaded insignia of the Dominion Empire. "Ma'am, they're broadcasting on all frequencies," Lieutenant Torres reported from his station, his voice tight with barely controlled fear. "Standard Imperial ultimatum. 72 hours to surrender unconditionally." Zara's jaw clenched. For 3 centuries, the Dominion had swept across the galaxy like a plague of locusts, consuming entire civilizations. Their massive dreadnoughts carried planet-killing weapons, their armies numbered in the billions, and their technology dwarfed anything humanity had developed. Every species that had faced them had either submitted or been annihilated. But Earth was different. "Open a channel to High Command," Zara ordered, her fingers dancing across the quantum encryption panel. Within seconds, the weathered face of Admiral Chen materialized in the air before her. "Commander Vex," Chen's voice carried the weight of humanity's fate. "I assume you've seen our uninvited guests." "Yes, sir. 17 dreadnoughts, probably carrying a full invasion fleet. The same force that cracked Proxima III last year." Admiral Chen nodded grimly. "Intelligence suggests they expect this to be routine. Another quick subjugation to add to their collection." His eyes hardened. "They're about to learn why Earth has remained unconquered for so long. The secret lay buried 3 kilometers beneath the Sahara Desert, in laboratories that officially didn't exist. Project Prometheus had been humanity's desperate gamble, a weapon so powerful, so fundamentally dangerous, that its very existence had been classified beyond even the highest military clearances." Dr. Sarah Kane stood in the sterile white control room, her hands shaking as she initialized the final sequence. Around her, the quantum resonance chambers hummed with barely contained energy that could unravel the fabric of space-time itself. "Are we really doing this?" whispered Dr. Patel, his dark eyes reflecting the swirling patterns on the monitoring screens. "We don't have a choice," Sarah replied, her voice steady despite her trembling fingers. "The Dominion doesn't negotiate. They don't show mercy. It's submission or extinction." The weapon, if it could be called, that was humanity's crown jewel of theoretical physics, made manifest. They had learned to weaponize quantum entanglement on a galactic scale, turning the fundamental forces of the universe into a sword that could cut across light years in an instant. Above them, in the cold vacuum of space, the Dominion fleet moved with the confidence of predators who had never faced real resistance. Admiral Cross, the Empire's most feared military commander, stood on the bridge of his flagship Eternal Dominion, watching Earth grow larger in the viewscreen. "A primitive world," he mused to his aide. "Their largest vessels are barely the size of our escort fighters. This will be concluded within hours." But Cross had made a fatal assumption. He had judged humanity by their ships, their conventional weapons, their apparent technological inferiority. He had not considered that a species backed into a corner might choose to rewrite the rules of warfare itself. The first sign something was wrong came when the quantum fields around Earth began to fluctuate. Sensors across the Dominion fleet registered impossible readings, energy signatures that shouldn't exist, spatial distortions that defied every known law of physics. "Sir," the fleet's chief scientist stammered, "we're detecting massive quantum cascade reactions originating from the planet's surface. The readings they're off the scale." Admiral Cross frowned. "Weapons? Unknown, sir. But the energy levels suggest." The scientist never finished his sentence. Reality twisted around the Dominion fleet like a vast, invisible hand crushing tin cans. The fundamental forces that held their ships together, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, suddenly found themselves operating under different rules. The mighty dreadnoughts, each the size of a small city, began to come apart at the molecular level. Not destroyed by external force, but undone by the universe itself turning against them. Their hulls didn't explode, they simply ceased to exist, atom by atom, as if they had never been forged. Admiral Cross had perhaps 3 seconds to comprehend what was happening before his own body began to dissolve. His consciousness scattered across quantum dimensions he never knew existed. In the control room beneath the Sahara, alarms screamed as the weapon reached full activation. The quantum cascade was spreading faster than light, unbound by relativistic limits, rewriting the fundamental constants of physics in an expanding sphere of controlled chaos. "It's working," Dr. Kane breathed, watching the impossible readings scroll across her screens. "The fleet is. They're just gone." But the weapon demanded a terrible price. The quantum distortions were destabilizing local space-time, creating ripples that would take decades to fully subside. Entire star systems near Earth would experience minor temporal anomalies for generations. The laws of physics themselves bore scars from humanity's desperate gambit. Commander Vex watched from her command ship as the Dominion fleet simply vanished from her screens, erased from existence as thoroughly as if they had been a child's drawing wiped from a slate. No debris field, no energy discharge, no final transmissions. Just nothing. "My God," Lieutenant Torres whispered. "What did we do?" Zara closed her eyes, feeling the weight of what they had unleashed. Humanity had won this battle, but at a cost that would echo through the cosmos. They had proven that even the mighty Dominion Empire could bleed, could be defeated. But they had also revealed that Earth possessed weapons capable of unmaking reality itself. The message would spread across the galaxy. Humanity was no longer prey. They were something far more dangerous, a species willing to tear holes in the universe rather than kneel before tyrants. The Empire had expected submission. Instead, they had found a war that would reshape the very nature of existence itself. And in the deep laboratories beneath Earth's surface, Dr. Sarah Kane began the long, careful process of ensuring that Project Prometheus would never need to be used again, while simultaneously preparing for the inevitable day when it would.